Welcome to Impact Wrestling, a show that we finally got something interesting. I think that might be the title. Finally, something interesting. Now, let's make this very clear. I gotta say this ahead of time. I saw JD's video, the off the script, for this week, and he already talked about Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows leaving Impact Wrestling. So I already knew what was going to happen in the first match. So we really don't need to cover it with OGK. There's no reason. We already knew OGK was going to win. The question was going to be, how well was the match going to be performed by Carl and Luke before they left? So OGK, Taman, and the Bennett, with his woman not there because they lost the match last week. Will it look good? That was the question. Not that it happened, but was it a good match? For the most part, yes. I will at least say Carl and Luke, they did their job. They made sure they make Matt and Mike look good before they left. And now Honor No More has one title. Fine, finally. I wish it had happened at an Impact Plus show. What the hell are these Plus shows for if you don't do something major on them? Why do you put it on regular TV when you supposedly have a little special once every month? Wouldn't it have been better to have it there? Tell me I'm wrong. Now, I understand if Carl and Luke had a contract that stated they had to drop it at a specific day, then there was nothing they can do. But if they did not, there was no reason to do it on this show. So, knowing they left is not the point now. We already know Luke and Carl are gone. The question is, was the match good? It was. But the bigger question is, was it necessary to drop it on a regular Impact show, or could they have done it on an Impact Plus show, the last one that was aired? Or better yet, could they have waited to Victory Road 3 weeks from now? If their contract would not be extended to Victory Road, then they had to drop it either here or to the last pay-per-view that we saw. Well, not pay-per-view, but Impact Plus show. Tell me. You guys tell me. Wouldn't it have been better at Emergence that Matt Taman and Mike Bennett won the damn titles instead of that 10-man tag? You guys tell me below. For me personally, it would have been better there. Now, here's a match that literally was stupid. Stupid. That is old WWE booking 101. Give people what they think they want. Oh, yeah. And then take the damn thing away, which was stupid. Either you go through it and then write for it, or not even go there at all. And that is Speedball Mike Bailey versus Kenny King for the X Division title. Now, before this happened, we had the little talk. You could see them in my face. They are so happy. Yes, Eddie still messes with PCO, which is stupid. Hopefully it ends by Bound for Glory. I am getting tired of it. This is a very stupid angle that Eddie Edwards is in with PCO and Vincent. It is dumb. It needs to stop. Now, will it happen at Victory Road? I don't know. Will it happen at Bound for Glory? I don't know. Hopefully it'll end at one of them. But they have their moment. And Kenny King says, I'm going to win this. Don't worry, I'm going to win it. And guess who comes out with him? It is the Maria, because she could not be out there because the match last week, she can't be here. And guess what? Decent match. He wins. Yes, cheating. Yes, Maria helps. It's not the point. Not the point. Tell me, would this have been interesting to actually see that in one show, Honor No More won 2 titles? No. I'm angry. Not because I like Kenny King. I don't care about Kenny King. I've always thought Kenny King had potential to really mean something and feel like something. And he really has. He was here when I saw him. That was about to go here. And he just barely hit here right when he left. And I thought when he went away, he'd be up to here. He never left here. He was here when I first saw him. He was here when he left the company. And he stayed here. Yes, he's been ROH champion. But the way either he's been booked bad or he just hasn't improved for me personal. It just does not mean he's bad. It just means that he's never progressed beyond what he is. not saying he isn't okay in the ring, but it takes more than just in-ring work to be a great pro wrestler. So what do we get? We get him winning. Honor No More comes out. But then since he knocked out the first ref and the second ref came in and he managed to get away with the skin in the cat of that win, and the first ref got a chance to see it and told the second ref that he cheated, they had to restart the match. And guess what happened? Wouldn't it have been better for him to keep the title? Something different from Impact Wrestling. I'm not saying it would have been great writing and booking, but it would have been different. No, they did exactly what I knew. I knew Mike Bailey was not going to drop that title to a... Yes, he might have won it, but it was overturned, so it doesn't count. But I knew Mike Bailey wasn't going to job it. I knew he wasn't going to job, but they wanted to make it interesting, which was boring. How many times have we seen these turnovers from either WWE or, better yet, Impact itself? They may have not done it in recent memory, but it doesn't mean they haven't done it. Wouldn't it have been better for them to actually go through with it and then try to book it beyond that and try to make Kenny King mean something for me to actually care about him? But no. They did exactly what I expected them to do. When they restarted it, I knew he was not going to win. I knew Speedball was going to whoop his ass, and he did. So we gained nothing from this. Zip. Now, let's go to... I want to say this. Was the camera work in the show good? Actually, it was fine. I had to say this because if anybody knows me, I look at everything that goes on in the show. Not just the wrestling itself, the promo segments, the mic skills of the people. The lighting has to be looked at, the audio's got to be thought of, and the camera work. Let's say for this point, camera was normal. That's all I ever want. I don't need the most perfect shots. I just need shots that I can actually see the damn product. When they try to be like WWE and Vince, like this, you never gain anything. So, they did their job. Normal camera work. So I had to say that. Now, let's get through... What can I say this about when it came to Brian Myers? Why? You had Brian Myers go to Scott, saying, I want my damn title. What the hell happened? You got to do something about this. This guy's doing whatever he wants. And he said, what do you got to worry about? You're the greatest professional wrestler. The greatest professional wrestler. Why don't you get it yourself? Okay. You know what? You're right. I'm going to go and get it. Turns around and gets decked. Hits the floor like a bitch. Got Gunja holding the title. I don't know if I got a shot. I might not even put it in. He's holding the damn title in his hand. Sprawls it onto Brian. And he doesn't say, Scott, can I have my shot? No, he just sprawls it on him. Scott doesn't say anything. Gunja doesn't say anything. He just drops the title and walks away. Was that effective? No. One of the two had to say something. Either Scott had to say something or Gunja had to say something. And Gunja really didn't say anything substantial or important to make it important. Not even Brian said, I'm going to get you for it. Nothing. I know some people would say, dude, what do you got to worry about? They already just showed you. That's all. You don't need to worry about it. They just showed you these two are going to go at it. Well, sometimes when a feud is not really getting anywhere, when it comes to these two, I don't feel anything from it. I don't. Because they really didn't do anything with Gunja very substantially. And Brian Myers, since he's been mostly doing his work outside of Impact Wrestling, if it's not BTI, which is dumb, he should be doing more work on the main show with one of the titles. He's been doing more work in NWA or any of the other promotions than here. So not seeing him much makes it hard to believe. And makes it hard to want to care. Now, mind you, I'm not saying the segment was bad, but it could have been done better. Now, the Jessica party, because she won her match against Alicia, she holds the party. And I think I'll show a picture of them. They're in my face. You see the gorgeous Taya Valkyrie with those boobs sticking out. Look, I want to say this clearly. Taya is a smart-ass woman. Woman's smart. But she also knows that she's damn sexy. And she levies that. And I'm glad she does. And I still can't believe that Vince didn't see nothing in her. Stupid idiot. Maybe she might go back. I'm not saying she should, but you know. Basically, taking away from that. Basically, what do we get? We get her, and this is Jessica, saying simply, I am ready. Let's get this going. Let's go. Let's hit it. And pretty much we get someone pumping the brakes, and that is Rosemary saying, no, just because you had one win does not mean you're not a distraction. You won your match because you're the distraction. How can you distract the distraction? She kind of has a point. If Jessica messes up because she's a distraction, wouldn't it stand in the reason that the distraction would always win a match because she is a distraction? So it is Taya who said, you know what, let's, how about this? I'm going to have a match next week. Why don't you have her here with me? And she said, all right. And I will be with Jessica to make sure it all goes well. And after that, they started drinking and kind of looking like they were kind of choking a little bit because maybe the liquor was a little too warm. I don't drink, but a lot of people don't believe I don't drink. I don't. I'm not a drinker. I just never caught that bug. Thank goodness. I actually grew up in a bar at one point. This is how you know the time period I was born in. From the time I was about 5 or 6 till I was about almost 10, my mother, love her to death, even though she's passed away, love her to death, she drank. And practically maybe 3 days out of the week, after I come home from school, she wants to spend time with her sister, my aunt, who hated her, literally hated her, and went to a bar with her. For 4 straight years, 3 times a week, we would stay there from the time I got out of class, which maybe about 3 or 4 o'clock, until about 6 or 7, maybe 8. And I would sit on a seat that's leather. That's how the bars are, leather. That smelled like disgusting, revolting cigarettes, which I don't smoke. Spit, which is disgusting. And beer, which I still don't like the smell of. There you go. There's a little piece, a tidbit about myself, which is so stupid. Anyway, this is what you get. Now, we got a debuting of a Dordara. That kind of reminds me of Callisto. I could be wrong. You guys tell me below if that's Callisto. They said he was former WWE wrestler. They said he was former AAA. I think he looks like Callisto that was released maybe about a year or 2 ago. I think about a year ago or a year and a half ago, I think he was released from the company. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. No, maybe he was Tiger. I can't remember the guy's name. Tiger something? Black Tiger, I think he was. What was the guy's name? He was in the Lucha House. No, he wasn't Callisto. I think he was in Lucha House Party, and he was Tiger something, like Black Tiger, Ultimate Tigers. I can't remember his name. I think that is the guy that I saw. I take back about Callisto, because he didn't look like Callisto. Callisto was a much more compact and cock diesel guy, and this guy was a little chunky. Doesn't mean he wasn't in shape. And he went up against Alex Zane. I gotta say this about Alex Zane. I like Alex Zane. He has an attitude, especially with those whiskers of his. Guys, many people wish to have whiskers like that. And you know what? The match was okay. It wasn't 100% great, but it was good. And Dorgada, I think his name is Dorgada. I could be wrong. I'll have to see his name after a couple of times if he's been hired by Impact, or, as I've been saying for years, they don't hire nobody. They just bring people in for tapings for a couple of weeks, which will cover a couple of months, and then they're gone. I'm just saying. Next, let's talk about Aussie Open. Aussie Open. The current... they must be getting, it's obvious to get permission from New Japan Pro Wrestling to come on Impact. Particularly that they have the New Japan Pro Strong tag titles. Good. Question is, how long are they there? If they're like Finjuice, if they're like Phantasma, if they're like Ishii or Suzuki or any of the other wrestlers that have been showing up, that have been coming from New Japan, they stay only for a couple of weeks, maybe a month if we're lucky. They do a tiny program, get their cash. Guys, I know everyone is enthusiastic. I know there's going to be a few people to say, Aussie Open's there, it's awesome. We just saw them on Dynamite. Yes, because they recorded this before that Dynamite. Because as you know, they tape everything. But here's the thing. This is where it gets bad. We have no long-term booking. Short-term, 2 months maybe. If you're really lucky, 2 months. And that's if they go away, be away for about a couple of weeks, maybe a month, and then they come back to do some more tapings. 2 months. 1 month from their first taping, be gone for several weeks, come back for a second tapings, maybe be in a program, gone. Look at Morrissey. Morrissey is now on AEW. We thought Morrissey might actually get a chance to get the world title. Well, look how that happened. He was getting somewhere in Impact. At least how they had booked him after he came back from getting clean. And what happened? Now, I'm not saying that he didn't leave on his own or Impact didn't get rid of him because they didn't want to deal with him having the problem, going to rehab, and then they think there might be more problems still. They didn't work, or if it did work, they got rid of him because they didn't want to. I'm not saying it's right or not. I'm just saying either Impact got rid of him or he chose not to stay. This is what you get. No long-term booking and no long-term contracts from a company that literally needs it. Mind you, Aussie Open being on the show will be quite good. I like Aussie Open. I do. I wonder if Osprey will be on there soon. We don't know. Hopefully we'll find out. Now, we had the Mickie James moment. 24 years, she said. She had been working. And I got to put this in my face. I'm not saying, you're not seeing it. I'm not saying that I'm trying to be sexual. I'm not saying that I'm a horny old man, which I am. Look, every man, no matter if they're young or old, or woman for that matter, if they're young or even old, no matter if you're in menopause, you can still get aroused. You love a good-looking woman, or you love a good-looking man, counting on what your preference is. This woman decides to come out, and you see her now in my face, this woman decides to come out in something that shows that even though she's about 43, 44 years old, having a child did not make her body go saggy. She's kept herself in shape. Her breasts are perky. They look delicious. And the only thing many men and many women want to do is rub their faces in and say, love me, let me be yours. She says several things. One, she says, I have been in this business 24 years. I have gone everywhere. I've done everything. But after the situation that dealt with Tasha and dealt with Chelsea, I had to go and reevaluate myself. I was very upset. I felt like, and I've been thinking about this more than once. She says it more than once. And that kind of reminds me of myself because as someone with depression anxiety, I only bring it in because this is something that many people don't understand. Feelings like that do pop up. And she's not really, saying she has depression anxiety, which wrestlers do have. Wrestlers go through that. She's saying those are the type of thoughts she had. She was thinking that she's not young enough to handle anymore, that people thought that she was considered trash, and that's the reason why her stuff was thrown away like trash, as the thing that happened in WWE. The Empower situation, where she did the pay-per-view with NWA, but WWE and many people said that a woman's pay-per-view would not make money, which it did make money. Whether it made a lot or not is irrelevant. It made it. The point is, she just felt like She was defeated, so she went home to her husband, home to her baby, and had to reevaluate. And this is what she decided. I am not giving up. I am going to still wrestle, and I am made a quest. I'm going to go literally through every person on the roster. That means she's going to go up against Chelsea. She's going to go up against Yana. She's going to go up against Tasha Steele. She's going to go up against Savannah Evans. She's going to supposedly got to go up against Killer Kelly, as well as Marsha, as well as anyone else on the roster to get to the main event. And she must culminate in winning the title, or she's done. This is where it gets very interesting. Mickey is about 44 years old. I don't think she's hit 45 yet. She's roughly about 44 this year, I think. If she's 45, she's 45, but I think she's 44. She's still very young. She's not in, from what I understand, not in any serious injury. She's still working with NWA with her husband, I believe, even though she's not a producer. I think she might still have the job. But the point is, she's still young, and I don't think she's retiring. But this is the angle they're going with. That being one of the people that made women's wrestling relevant, and she did, she's earned her right. And I do believe one day with WWE, they're going to give her a call, and they're going to give her a shot at the Hall of Fame. And she will take that shot of Hall of Fame to join Lita, to join the Trish Stratus, to join May, to join Moolah, and every other woman that has been considered important, including Alundra Blaze. She will join them. But the point here is, will it be a good booking? Saying it will is a lie. We don't know how they're going to build this up, culminating into Bound for Glory, because this is what's coming. It is going to Bound for Glory. The question is how they're going to book up to Bound for Glory and what they're going to do after that for the champion who has now been considered her number one opponent from this match. But before we go to the number one contender match, we need to talk about Josh Alexander's interview. Oh yes, I got to go there. If you don't like it, deal with it. Kiss my ass. Josh was talked to by Gina. And it was about what's been going on with Honor No More, what he thought about D. Mickey James, and what he thought about Eddie Edwards. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Eddie comes out after he spoke to Gina. And he says, look, I'm not starting a fight. But as it stands, everything we've been saying, everything I've been saying is true. Look what happened with Heath, what he did to me. He beat me up and cut you off. You had the right to say what you needed to say. I respect you for loving Impact Wrestling. I understand it used to be the same way as you, but I learned my lesson. You need to understand. And as he's talking, Heath comes in and whoops his ass. They get him off me. And that is the Eddie Edwards. After it was over, Scott told him, you know what? You need to stop doing this because we're going to have our Bound for Glory match. I don't want you to keep attacking him. So next week, you're having a match. He said, that's all I want. But this is where it gets interesting. Once he went from Scott to Josh to apologize for last week, and suppose he didn't say it here, but probably now. Josh said, I understand your point of view. I get it. But you did cut me off. You did. And he walks away. Trying to tease a little bit of dissension, which is bullshit. For me personally, unless they make this mean something before Bound for Glory, this is just Impact Wrestling just playing with us a little bit just to make us think it could happen when it actually won't. But that's just me. Final match. Number one contendership for the Knockouts title at Bound for Glory. Marsh Slamovich versus Deonna Purrazzo. Now, as you guys know, I have not been an opponent of Marcia Slamovich. I'm not taking away from the match. It wasn't a bad match. It was not. It was a good match. We got to see more of Marcia than we've ever seen, which is great. And she can, to a certain extent, wrestle. But this is Deonna. This is Marcia. If anybody says Marcia's like here, you kiss my ass. Because I saw how she wrestled. When she decided to do that Death Valley driver into the bottom turnbuckle, I don't think she generally tried to do it right. She was already tanked by the time she went to do that Death Valley driver into the bottom turnbuckle. She fell into it, not tried to position herself correctly into it. That was freaking sloppy. Don't tell me nothing. Don't tell me nothing. I saw that move. That move, she literally lost her balance while trying to do a cloverleaf. Just like white noise, I'm sorry. The way Sheamus does his white noise. That is what we had. And it looked like a damn Death Valley driver, even though it wasn't. She's trying to ram her into the bottom turnbuckle, but she didn't step over to the bottom turnbuckle and just do it. No. You could see her as she tried to walk over there. She lost her footing and she started stumbling into it. So don't tell me this woman wrestles great. She does not. You could see after the first 4 minutes she tanked. Guess who didn't tank? Deonna. Deonna didn't tank. She did. I do not know why people think that she's the next Goldberg, because she's not. 1, she doesn't have the personality of Goldberg. Sorry. 2, she doesn't have the strength of a Goldberg female version. Guess who did? Guess who does? Chyna, Jazz, and guess who should be a Goldberg type character? And is Jordynne Grace. Is a Goldberg type character. Why do you think she was working with Big Papa Pump? This woman can lift 300 to 400 pounds legitimately. Does that mean Marsha Slamovich can do that? Hell no. For the way she acted, she can barely lift her after beginning to get tanked. But Jordynne always got enough juice in the tank to actually get it done even when she's tanked. And I've seen Jordynne's matches. Even when she's tanked, she still has just enough to get it done. She didn't. So, don't tell me. But I'm not going to tell you the match was 100% trash. It was not. Like I said, Deonna's here. She's here. But does not mean she's a bad wrestler. For the most part, she did a good job showing that she was dominant, jumping up, taking hits. Seeing that Chelsea was trying to interfere with it is fine. That's good. In the end, she won, and then Jordynne comes out with an envelope the same. Why did they do that? Well, it was not necessary. That is supposedly Marsh's stick. And you just let Jordynne Grace copy her just to try and make it something special, which it didn't make it something special. You want her to be unique. Don't have someone copy your stick. I'm sorry. If she's giving out envelopes showing that she's going after you next, supposedly like when Goldberg said, "You are next," and she's using envelopes instead, you do not bring out the world champion with a damn black envelope with her picture crossed off and both of them facing one another. That's just not how you do it. It's wrong. And I know people are going to say it's great, and more power to you. That's yours. But to me, that was wrong. Now, was this show good? It was fine. Predictable in some places, dumb in others, and you wonder how things are going to go. Like Aussie Open. Will Drogata, will he stay? I think his name is Tiger. Ultima Tiger, I believe his name. When he was in WWE. Will he stay? Will Alex Zane stay? More. Maybe he's hired. You wonder. Will this last longer than maybe 2 months if we're lucky? Will these guys stay? I don't know. But you guys tell me below. Peace.